Is it possible to time the in-season market, or is the off-season the only time to buy? We'll let you know today. Plus, Panini is dying, but that doesn't mean they're dead. They are dropping timeless moments, impeccable numbers, logo mins, and more. And Bowman Chrome's checklist is out. We'll break it all down on this episode of Up or Down. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Up or Down, where we track what really moves a card's price up or down. I am your host, Dappz, and I am here with the almighty and powerful, largest sports card buyer in the history of the United States, Ethan. Remember to get in the comments weekly, and don't forget, we have another Ludex weekly loot giveaway. The card is I can't show you the card now, I show it to you later. But what I will show you is the winner of last week's giveaway, which was this Brock Lesnar. What was this? This was a 2023 Prism Gold Shimmer Photo PSA 9. This is numbered to 5, not 10. Bookend. First on print, 1 of 5. And the winner is Matthew Potter. Congratulations, Matthew. Next week, show me when to buy baseball and football singles relative to seasonality. Give me some examples, both in player and budget. Thanks, bros. Well, it's so interesting, Ethan, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, is seasonality. All right, so Ethan, let's talk about seasonality. I think you and I both agree that the off-season is clearly the best time to buy players' cards because everybody's usually focused on a different sport. Not as many people are interested in the off-season in terms of buying and selling. That's where there's opportunity. Now, during the season, there's also opportunity to make money on cards, but it's a little bit different. And I think one way you can make money on cards is injuries. We just saw Joe Burrow get injured. We just saw Brock Purdy get injured. We just saw CeeDee Lamb get injured. Do any of these guys or anybody else really speak out to you in terms of, hey, I think there's some opportunity to make money on these guys?
This offseason, it was really hard to buy some certain players. You can't always buy in the offseason because a lot of the players are already hyped up for the offseason. Jalen Hurts, you couldn't buy him because he just won a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, last year had one of the best statistical seasons, maybe should have won MVP, so people were expecting this year when the Bengals turned it around that his stuff was going to skyrocket. Now Joe Burrow is hurt. He's out for a couple months. Now it's your opportunity, maybe your last opportunity ever to buy Joe Burrow because he could come back, show people he's the player we all thought he was, or even get traded or move to a different team where he will equally skyrocket. So if you're talented, you just got hurt and people are going to start throwing your cards away because there's big question marks in the air, now's your time to pick up Joe Burrow if you're a big Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You're going to have this pocket of time right now to buy Joe Burrow. Nobody cares about him right now, unfortunately. That's the way it is. The best case scenario is you start buying right now, and somehow, by some miraculous way, the Bengals end up with a wild card spot. Joe Burrow comes back maybe the last week of the season, 2 weeks left in the season, leads his team to victory. Everybody's all over the Burrow train again, and you're going to make 20, 30, 40%. By the way, we just saw, this is not injury related, but in the offseason, we were tracking Herbert on this show forever. His silver PSA 10 was at around $800. Now it's at $1,000 because of his player performance. So he's increased 20%. And I'm just bringing this up because that's what can happen to Joe Burrow. So for any of the haters out there who say, you can't make 20, 30, 40% in season, of course you can.
Definitely
we just saw Herbert increase 20% in less than 3 weeks because he won 3 games and he's banging Madison Beer.
Yeah, exactly. Banging Madison Beer is a big play for any quarterback. So another thing affecting quarterbacks or just stocks in general is that players are playing like shit. Like Lamar Jackson, for example, is 1-2 on the season, and his stock's probably going down a lot. And if you look at it, Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback of all time. You can't name me another quarterback with 2 MVPs, a playoff record, and also has the highest QBR ever. Not what people saying he's a running back coming out of college. He is now the highest QB of all time. So I think Lamar Jackson cards are criminally undervalued. I know you're a big Lamar guy yourself, talking about the black and the gold sale.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot on the show. I was actively watching the alt listing last December, January. Lamar's finite Prism went for $80K. I thought it was super undervalued. We just saw a gold Prism Lamar Jackson true rookie sell for $50K. So if you true that up on a 10x, that means that black is worth $500,000 right now. Now it doesn't always work with that like that on a gold to a black finite 10x exactly, but it does sometimes, right? And it's got to be. I mean, no matter what, that card is a $250,000 card. Now, right now, as we're filming this show, Ravens are 1-2, Chiefs are 1-2. Either Mahomes or Lamar is going to be 1-3, which is wild to think about. Mahomes is so high. I don't know. There's not a lot of room to play with on him. You really have to time his stuff precisely. I don't recommend doing that. Lamar Jackson obviously just went up in price. Now, where's he floating around? I don't know. But listen, there's tons of guys who the first 3-4 weeks of the season don't perform well. Their prices take a dump. I mean, listen, J.J. McCarthy, Penix, both of those guys really don't look good right now. Bo Nix lost 2 games this season so far. There's a lot of young guys who everybody hyped up. Now they're not playing well. Everybody overreacts in the beginning of the season, though, right? There's going to be a lot of teams that are 0-3 or 1-2 right now who end up being a playoff team. We saw what the Commanders did last season. Nobody saw them coming. Lions lose to the Packers. Everybody goes nuts. Everybody goes berserk. The Bears, Caleb Williams, looked really good last week against the Cowboys. He didn't look good the first 2 weeks. I think he's ranked 4th overall in fantasy right now. So, Caleb Williams market might heat up. We'll see. Jaden Daniels, by the way, is hurt right now. So
I'm glad you brought up Caleb Williams because I was going to talk about him. First 2 weeks, I mean, he put a goose egg, and no one was really interested in him. His market was crashing. His gold downtowns were doing cheap. And I was just thinking that, hey, Caleb Williams is a buy. I mean, that week, that opening matchup, Minnesota versus the Bears, I was like, listen, Caleb lost that game, but he was throwing some good balls. His poise in the pocket was good. They had 8 first-half penalties. It was not his fault. I think Caleb Williams is a buy right now, and because I just think as a quarterback, you could build in you can bake in a lot of excuses. Like you can say the coaching is bad, the defense is bad, the O-line is bad, yada, yada, yada. You can build in excuses for anyone's market. But if you really look at Caleb Williams when he has to make that throw, it gets there, man. He's a talented guy. The ball comes out of his hand very nicely.
Yeah, and listen, maybe it would, or maybe it had to take a couple games for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson to click. The flea flicker was obviously incredible.
Yeah.
Odunze really looks like he's the clear number 1.
Yep.
Looks like an absolute beast. That's a guy maybe people should be looking at, or maybe not because he's probably blowing up right now. Odunze is probably approaching his peak in the market, right around now. So when Matthew comments and asks about in-season, off-season, seasonality, how it affects prices, it's all based on player performance.
Yep.
And it's a combination. You could be playing extremely well, by the way, and your team stinks, and your price isn't going to go up, right? Not a lot. You have to be balling out MVP level for that to happen. So, you got a guy like Josh Allen, 3-0, already won an MVP, already I would say is overpriced because he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. But again, he still has an MVP. There's no reason that anybody could explain to me why Josh Allen should be worth it more than Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen is a guy who the only way you can make money on Josh Allen is if you buy him and he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and if you're investing in a Josh Allen or, example, a Justin Herbert, and they get to the first round of the playoffs and they get knocked out, that market is going to fall so hard. But then you can also look at players that shouldn't be in the playoffs, and if they make it to the playoffs, their market will explode. Daniel Jones, if they make it to the playoffs and they're the 1 seed, even if they lose in the first 2 rounds, I think that market's going up. It reminds me a lot of Sam Howell last year for the Vikings. Sam Howell's market exploded, man. I think he must have 5x during the season. So if you see a quarterback like Daniel Jones and you're like, this is a playoff team, this guy can maybe not only be in the playoffs, but even home field advantage throughout the playoffs, it doesn't matter when he's losing, he's going up.
I think another interesting strategy, by the way, is if you look at a quarterback, running back, receiver, any position, and you go, hey, that guy is injury prone. That guy regularly gets injured. Collecting his backup is an interesting play because if they do get injured, it's a low price buy, right? So you're not going to have to put up a ton of money, right? Because nobody's really looking at that guy. If the guy gets injured, you're going to 2, 3, 4, 5x just on the hype alone. And when we talk about hype, trades go into hype too. A guy gets traded, guess what? Now his value is going to go up, especially if he goes to a larger market team. So a guy who gets traded from, let's say, Minnesota to LA or New York, bigger market, more fans, more money, more people who can potentially buy your card. So The opposite of that actually just happened, where Daniel Jones left the Giants, goes to the Colts. He had a stop in Minnesota. But now he's performing extremely well. We've watched Daniel Jones's price double from $100 Silver Prism to $200. But guess what? Herbert's Prism right now is $1,000. Daniel Jones is $200. You're telling me that if the Colts were 6-0 or 8-2 or 10-3 by the end of the year, Daniel Jones can't be a $400 Silver Prism?
Easily.
So I think there's still a ton of room in season to make money on a guy like Daniel Jones. You just have to really believe that he's going to bring the Colts to the promised land.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of the whole backup player thing I actually love that idea. There's like 3 guys. If you could look at teams that are very good, I'm not talking about just a quarterback. I'm talking about like a whole around team is very good, and you look at that quarterback's backup. If he steps in, he's got an easy life. He's already on a playoff team. He just has to make a couple passes, and he can have a career over there. People like Jalen Milroe for the Seahawks, who can take Sam Darnold's job. Tanner McKee. If Jalen Hurts goes down from a tush push, Tanner McKee takes that job. He might never get back. Look at Stetson Bennett for the Rams. Stafford's old with a bad back injury. It just takes one hit to kick him off that team. Stetson Bennett comes in and they make a big, deep playoff run. He's never losing that job. So you can take these backup quarterbacks and make I'm not talking about 4X. I'm talking about like a 20X.
And by the way, when backup quarterbacks come in, you don't even need them to play more than 2 or 3 weeks. No. It's all on the hype. So you stash that player, you have them, he comes in, and by the way, you could list him before he even comes in. And just on the hype alone, you might get 2 or 3X. He's starting this week, right? Everybody's excited. He plays one good game. You put that stuff on eBay, 2, 3X. Greatest example of that was when Mike White came in for the New York Jets. He had, I think his cards were like $1, literally $1, $2. They went to 40. We're talking about a 20, 30, 40X, right? On a guy who you could have invested. Imagine spending $1,000 on Mike White Silver Prisms, and then they're $40,000.
Dude, the Stetson Bennett NT True RPA did $1,000. His best card did $1,000. I mean, Stetson Bennett's a 2-time NCAA champion who's backing up a 40-year-old quarterback with a team with the best defense in the league. So he can just come in and throw 5 straight completions, and his NT RPA should be a $30K card.
And I hope that answers some of the questions in the comments from Matt. And again, everybody who's watching, please ask us questions. We want to insert these into next week's episode and episodes in the future. That's why we're here to talk about cards. But in the meantime, why don't we get over to our favorite segment, What I'm Buying.
So we have one of the coolest cards to hit auction in a long time. No, this is not a Leaf card. No, this is not a Panini card. This is an Upper Deck quad auto of the GOATs. Wayne Gretzky, Ken Griffey Jr., Tiger Woods, and LeBron James. This is not a pack-pulled card. This card is out of 2 and was given away at the Upper Deck employee parties. So you had to be an Upper Deck employee just to have a chance to get a pack, to get a chance to hit this monster. This card has not hit auction in a long time, and you're not going to see it ever again. Whoever buys this card, it's going deep into a collection. LeBron's auto is silver. It's not faint. They're all very good autos and just a cool card.
It's beyond cool. This is an epic card.
You're never going to see a card with these 4 guys autographed.
This is an epic card. And also, I don't know what this ends at. $8K for this card is criminally underpriced. I don't know what it's going to end at. Tiger and LeBron on the same card is sick. To add the great one and Ken Griffey Jr., these are just 4 absolute, pillars of their sport. I'm curious to see what this ends at. And even if this ends at anything under 20K, I'm a huge buyer on this.
Well, you know who owns this card?
Who?
This is my card.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
I can't believe
surprise, it. Surprise. Had to pull this out of my little stash. I wanted to see it run because right now, GOATs are up.
But what does this end at, Ethan?
Okay, so I'll tell you how I got the card. I binned it on eBay for $7,000, $6,000, graded it, and there it is. Voila, 9/9. GOATs are up right now. Everyone's saying it.
Everybody's
Tiger's up.
Sure.
LeBron's up. Kobe's up. So I want to see if it's really up. I put 4 of the GOATs up there. Let's see what it ends for. I think this is a 10K plus card, maybe 15K card, maybe even a 20K card, because there's some dog shit ass cards on this auction ending higher than this, and I way rather have this card.
Love this card.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, what else you got?
We have a card that I have no particular interest in buying. I'm just saying if this is the last time this card will ever be cheap, because this is the greatest baseball player of all time.
It's just incredible how we put these affordable cards that are cheap on our
well,
show
these are the
week.
only 2 cards over $1,000 on this whole entire.
I believe you,
slideshow.
and so does our viewers.
Whoever produced this episode just organized it wrong. So I only brought this up. I'm not buying this. I'm just saying that this is the greatest baseball player of all time. There is no argument anymore. This guy's won MVP after MVP. He's pitching games. He's just by far the best player in baseball, hitting and pitching. If they win another World Series back to back, there's just no argument anymore. Like
I think if they win another World Series, he's the greatest of all time. And if he wins an MVP, the only thing he needs to do now is win an MVP in the World Series. So
dude,
just like cherry on top.
This is a 52 mantle. Like this is the best card in baseball now. So take a look. It's not going to be a 5-digit card much longer.
This is at $9,200 with 13 bids. What do you think this is going to end up at, Ethan?
I think this should be around a $15K card. I think that's kind of what they've been doing over the past 4 months. I think there's a lot of room for it to go up. I think you can look at this card in 10 years and be like, holy shit, you could have got this card at 10K and now there's an extra zero on it. He's the GOAT, man. He's changing baseball. Like he's doing what I've never expected a guy to be the best hitter in baseball and maybe a top 5 pitcher at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that might be a stretch. It's cool to have him on the Dodgers in the playoffs coming out of the bullpen. I agree, for 3 innings. That's an insane thing to have. I just don't think he's ever been able to stay healthy enough to be considered a top any type of pitcher. But listen, what he does with the bat, and the fact that he's also pitching is just insane in itself.
See.
All right, what else you got?
So 2017 Cracked Ice Contenders Christian McCaffrey.
This is sick, this card.
Yeah, so 2017 Contenders is Patrick Mahomes rookie. So it's one of the most expensive products of all time. The second best player in this class is Christian McCaffrey. It's not Deshaun Watson. It's not Mitchell Trubisky. It's not Alvin Kamara. It's CMC. And if we're looking at CMC's career in total, he's maybe 3 good seasons away of being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he was one of the best running backs of our generation. He's probably the best fantasy running back of all time. It's just a good card for a good price, and I like how the Carolina blue pops on this card a lot. So yeah, BGS 9 is a solid grade. I don't think his card is over $1,000, so it's a nice pickup for potentially a Hall of Famer.
24 or 25, I like it. 479 probably ends under 1,000. What else you got on here?
I know you hate this guy because you're height shaming, but Kyler Murray, man, the more I watch him, he's learned so much. He's been in the league for now 6-7 years, and just consistently not losing games for the Carolina. It's every time they lose a game, it's their defense who just blows the fucking lead every time. It's embarrassing. I bet him against the Niners this week. That was tragic. But yeah, Kyler's a good quarterback. He's just like Daniel Jones. He's just like one of those guys that could just leave the teams and then go somewhere else and figure it out. Because Carolina does him no favors. His NTRPA is at $500.
Well, he plays for Arizona, but Carolina, Arizona.
Yeah, it's football teams. So at $500, PSA 9. I remember when this card came out, it was like a 10K card. There's just so much room for this to go up.
Part of the reason I am hating on Kyler so much, by the way, is because at the National, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago, the Chicago before, well, maybe, no, not last Chicago, not the Chicago before that, 3 Chicagos ago, I went pretty heavy into Kyler, 3, 4, 5K, and it just went down to 1K. And it was a disaster. And it's just with Kyler, he impresses you so much on the field, and then they don't win, and he doesn't come up in big moments, and he'll be incredible for a quarter or two, and then he'll shit the bed. So
I agree. What I watch of him, it's sad, but the talent is there. Remember, he's faster than Lamar Jackson.
Which is ridiculous because he has such little legs.
Yeah, and he has the arm talent of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a baseball player. He's got an arm. I don't feel like they utilize him correctly, and I feel like he's just super talented. There's a category of players, if you go first overall, if you're 1-1, you can't be bad at football. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not bad at football. Kyler Murray's not bad at football. Bryce Young, I don't know, but he's not the worst football player. You have...
What about Mitch Trubisky?
Mitch Trubisky went 2.
Who went 1?
Myles Garrett.
Oh...
Yeah, no, Mitch Trubisky's a bum.
You got me there.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have enough talent in your bones to be a solid quarterback in the NFL. We're watching bums play football nowadays, so all you got to be is top 30 to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think Kyler Murray's top 15. I think it's a good buy.
Well, listen, talking about seasonality and in-season purchases. The way you make money on Kyler, this card, is you need him to get a fringe playoff spot, and you need him to win a game. right? That's how you could really make money on Kyler. And to be honest, you might not even need him to win a game. If you bought right now and they made the playoffs, I think there's enough hype around Kyler to make 20, 30, 40%.
Or what if the Oakland Raiders make a big package at the deadline and acquire him? Or what if he becomes a free agent one day and signs with a team that could honestly utilize him? Miami Dolphins, who knows? I think there's a lot of opportunity, and if I'm going to hold an NTRPA, it's going to be of a good player. He's good. It's not going to be Brock Purdy, I'll tell you that much.
Sure. What else you got?
I got a 2001 Bowman Chrome Gold refractor of LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, one of my favorite players growing up. He still has the coolest jersey in history. The powder blue LT jersey is the best jersey of all time, and that's a cheap fan telling you that. LaDainian Tomlinson's a cult figure. I mean, people in my generation are always going to bring him up. He's like the first scat back ever, the first guy who used to catch balls just all around purpose at yards. I love LT. I like the card. It looks cool.
It's really cool, and the gold out of 99 is kind of rare too, right?
Super, yeah.
Bowman Chrome, this kind of era of Bowman Chrome, very Brady-esque, right? Like I think Brady, is he 2000 or 2001? Yeah. 2000. But still, that Bowman Chrome in the top left, there's plenty of legendary Brady cards with that same emblem, right? So I love this era. I love LT. When you're talking about Christian McCaffrey being the greatest fantasy back of all time, I think LT could also maybe be the greatest of all time. I think he has, to this day, still the most touchdowns ever in one season. I think it was 31. LaDainian Tomlinson was so much fun to watch as a kid. This is one of those things where like you buy this, kind of stash it, and I don't think you can lose money on it. I think there's only 99 of these. Like you bring it to a show or you put it at the right auction, like somebody's gonna want this. And this is also a card where like if you want this card, you will overpay for it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is Drew Brees rookie, right? 01. I think that's correct. But if you look back at it, this could be the greatest Charger of all time. Like this could be the best franchise player that the Chargers ever had. So, the collectors will always be around for it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, let's see who else you got. I know you love your Rockets.
I love my Rockets. I love my Alpy. One of the biggest profitable plays I've ever had was getting Alperen Sengun his rookie year. Now right now he is in the finals for the Olympics. He just beat Giannis to go to the finals. He's going to win MVP of the Olympics. Alperen Sengun, NTRPA.
Now imagine if that mattered.
I personally think that matters a lot. Like he was putting in. Name me another player on Turkey.
I can't.
Exactly. So this card's going to
Which is why it doesn't matter.
This card's going to end like shit because it's an SGC card, and that's just a good buying opportunity for
Do you crack this card?
No, because if you did, it would probably get a PSA 8. An SGC 9.5 is probably a
Would you rather have a BGS 9 than an SGC 9.5?
I want the card, not the grade. I want the card. That's all I really care
about.
But
that was not the question. The question was, would you rather have a BGS 9 or an SGC 9.5?
Oh, a BGS 9, 100%. Yeah.
But then maybe it is worth cracking.
Yeah, but it won't get a BGS 9. If it's an SGC 9.5, it's probably like a PSA 8 or BGS 8. But either way, buy this card. This guy is going to be the biggest riser this season. People are circling the Rockets thinking Kevin Durant and Amen Thompson. That is the point guard for the Rockets. He is going to have the most assists on the team, the most points. That dude bangs. He's baby Jokic, super efficient, all-star last year. Will be an all-star this year. Just keep an eye on this guy.
And also, Fred VanVleet goes down. By the way, we talk about this all the time on the show. What nobody's going to be talking about is, guess what? This is a 12-month hold or maybe a 9-month hold, but like buying Fred VanVleet, right? Buy him over the next 3 months. You have a 3-month window where if the Rockets are legitimately a good team for the next 3 to 4 years and VanVleet comes back, you will legitimately double your money on VanVleet because he's so low, right? He comes back. The Rockets play well unless you're a believer that Reed Shepherd's just going to take over the position and VanVleet's just out of town.
Dude, VanVleet is old washed garbage. That guy was on the team because he was buddies with Kevin Durant. There was no reason. He's just going to chuck shots and play shitty defense. He's done. He's going to be a coach, a bench coach. He'll be on the bench mob the rest of his career.
He's cooked.
Yeah, he's cooked.
When the lights go down in the
All right, well, a product just dropped this week that I think we have to cover in this show. Bowman Chrome. Everybody loves it. Obviously, you just showed an Ohtani from a similar set, right? Bowman, first Bowmans, second-year Bowmans. A lot of this Bowman stuff is what ends up selling for the most amount of money when it comes to baseball. And 2025 Bowman Chrome just came out this Wednesday. So this seems to be the biggest chase, or one of the biggest chases. Shotaro Mori. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Sounds good.
But look at that SIG. That is sick on a first Bowman. What do you think about that?
I love kanji autos. I like any type of inscriptions. If your autograph is not boring, I'm a fan of it. I don't know much about Bowman this year. I will say this is the least year I've been into Bowman because the Bowman market in general has fallen off. Like you see all these Bowman cards come out and they just crash 3 months into them in their playing career. I've gravitated more towards Dappz Chrome or like the debut patches or stuff like or Dynasty because just investing in kids this young is such a risky business.
It's so risky. It's
Yeah.
so risky, and it's like you have to really be watching
gotta be
triple
really
A
sharp.
games. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? If you're, you have to have a lot of time on your hands. You have to be really deep into baseball. I've never been a guy who invests in first Bowmans. Listen though, but then you see the sales and you're like, oh, I wish I could have been
It's
in
the
that
best
guy, right?
way to make money in terms of stocks. Like you 5, 10, 20x this. You can also go down 80% in a night. But this is
I
like
mean, guys, listen, like Jason Dominguez, Wander Franco, like these guys were so hyped.
So
and
hyped.
Ohtani was one of those guys. He just stayed up,
yeah,
right?
1 in a million.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, so this product is a super risky product. If you know your shit, you're gonna make money. I know people who just only buy Bowman, they're just demons and they make a lot of money. But you know what I do like about this product that they added into it? They added the Garbage Pail Kids set, which is a really cool like fusion of just old school and new school. And now this year, for the first time, they're adding autos to the Garbage Pail Kids set, plus an area for you to write your own nickname into your garbage pail. So that's not only an autograph, it's also an inscription. And there's no like rookies in the set. This is all like first year. So there's no like Bowman kids in the set. They're rookies. They're like older guys who are already in the show, like Nick Kurtz, who we already know is amazing.
Sure.
So this is kind of providing more stability into Bowman, which I like a lot.
For sure, absolutely. And I don't think, Bowman's never going to go away. People are always going to prospect. You don't see this in basketball and football, obviously, because they're not getting drafted at 17, 16 years old, being shipped here to the United States, from South America or different countries, right? So, like, it's very, very interesting to watch some of these players get invested when they're 17, 18, 19 years old, and they don't hit the league for 3 years. So like we talked about, you really got to be watching and scouting these guys. Not something that I would recommend purchasing early. Wait a couple years, and then also you can wait it out, lose some of that 10x, and still 5x your money on a guy who ends up getting called up. They don't do great, like Bobby Witt, for example, right? Like he had a card years and years ago, right? But now he's like top 5 fantasy player, right? And by the way, still, what are the Royals doing?
Yeah.
They're not in the playoffs, so you might be able to buy a Bobby Witt in the offseason, even though he's up already. But if the Royals did make some noise one year and go to the playoffs, that's where you make your money on a Bobby Witt.
Yeah, so I love Bowman because it's a flagship product. It's a product they've been coming out with every year, steady as always. But now we're looking at Topps. My main issue, which was something I brought up a little bit last week with the Downtown 101s, is Panini is just shitting out product. Panini is just taking all their stuff and trying to get it out before the deadline. They want to get their Panini 1 out, their Mosaic out, their Optic down. They want to get all these things gone. So when the license is out, they're just like, all right, I got nothing left. So my question is, this can go 2 ways. A, Panini could be releasing the best product they ever had. I mean, they're putting in Mosaic. They have Color Blast. They have RPAs. They have Nebula Contenders.
Are these season tickets in
Mosaic?
Wow.
Yeah. So let me go product by product. Mosaic has Contenders now. It has Spectre in it. It has Color Blast. It has Nebula RPAs in it. Then we go to Panini 1 that just came out the other week. They have dual timeless moments. They have impeccable numbers because they're not making impeccable in here, so they're putting it in here. They have tons of new inserts we've never seen before, like these star swatches, which is a flawless type of thing. They're putting it into Panini 1. And then in Optic, they put the 1 of 1 downtowns, basketball's first number downtowns. And going after all the, silhouettes. Did you see that new silhouettes product? They were just dumping the best game-used jersey stuff they had. They put finals game-used jerseys of the Heat and the Warriors, like game-worn final stuff. They were putting logo man after logo man after logo man of not only the top players, but like they put a Glenn Davis in there. They put like a Rudy Gobert. They put like just a set where like almost every other box you're hitting a logo man. So my question to you, do you think this like is a good thing? Like, are these cards, like, after we're done this, are we going to be like, wow, Panini put out the best product they ever had on the last year? Or are we going to be like, wow, everything they dropped in the last year was dog shit. They were just dropping whatever they can because they were running out of license?
No, I think it's like 2012 Prism and 2025 or 24, whatever you want to consider, or Panini rather, right? Like this last year of Panini, if in theory they don't have a license for product for 10 years or 5 years or whatever it is, this is going to hold a time in the market of, oh man, this was the last time we were able to grab this stuff. I mean, listen, think about Kobe's last year Prism. Like that's a card that people value, right? Yeah. And that's just one player. This is a whole set, and it's more than a set. It's multiple sets. It's a brand,
exactly,
right? It's a brand going out of business, kind of, right? And it's And again, like, listen, history repeats itself, right? So like, just think about what happened with an Upper Deck, Exquisite. You know, any product that came out in the 2000s or 2010, right? Like products that dropped, Fleer Metal in the late 90s, like all these products, people love them still to this day, right? And people collect in different eras, and then they get that set gets old, and then a new set comes along, and a new generation comes along, and they collect it, and then guess what? The next generation goes, oh, I didn't know that there was this set back in the 90s called Fleer Metal, and then they start collecting that set, right? So I mean, listen, you could. This is similar to music too, right? You grow up, like when I was 8 years old, Jay-Z had really just like came out. He was the biggest rapper in the world, right? Yeah. But I'm kind of like too young to listen to Jay-Z at 8 years old, right? Now, fast forward, Lil Wayne comes out when I'm in high school. He's my favorite rapper. In college, though, I start to listen to more rap, and I realize, holy shit, Jay-Z is amazing. And then that's when I listened to his entire discography, right? So similar to music and eras of music, like you might just not be born in the right era to appreciate Panini. And there's a lot of kids right now who are just they're gonna go into the Dappz license era, and they're gonna love that. But then 5-10 years from now, they start to discover, wow, that 24, 25 year of Panini was sick.
Yeah, like they stole shit from this, from that. Like they're gonna be like, oh, that's the OG version of that. And that's gonna do a lot for the market. I think they're gonna look back and be like, wow, timeless moments are sick. Wait, there's 1 year ever they did dual timeless moments? Oh, there's a Ray Allen, Steph Curry record-breaking dual timeless moments? That is sick. Look, there's the only 101 downtown ever, or basketball in the last year of Panini. So this could do a lot because, as you said, they're going to look at the first years of Panini and be like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. And then they're going to see them last year. They were just putting out some crazy stuff and they'll be like, I want that.
Should we do a giveaway?
Yes.
All right, guys, remember to subscribe to Dappz Sports on YouTube, like this video, and comment beneath to enter this giveaway we're about to do. This is the Ludex Weekly Loot Giveaway. Shout out to our partners over at Ludex. Remember, guys, go click the link below. Download the Ludex app. The Ludex app is great. If you have a card collection, you can take pictures of all your cards, upload it into the app, and it'll tell you a real-time value of your collection, what it's worth. So, without further ado, if you want to win this card that's in my hand, comment what you want to see on next week's episode. And this week, for the Ludex Weekly Loot Giveaway, we are giving this XRC PSA 10 Christian McCaffrey. He's absolutely balling out. We talked about him in the show. This is Gem in 10, 2016 Panini Select Christian NFL Draft XRC Prism. This comes out of Select Hobby. XRCs are in the product the year before, so this was a 2016 product with a redemption. That was RB1 or RB2, whatever Christian was drafted that year. This was the card that came out of that redemption, and now it can be yours. All you have to do, remember, subscribe to Dappz Sports, like this video, and give us a comment. We will see you next week. I am your host, Dappz. This is Ethan. You are watching Up or Down. See you next week.